Okay, great. Okay, good evening, everybody. So we'll be having verbal reasoning this week. So today is session 2 for verbal reasoning. Please keep these instructions in mind. Make sure you have a stable internet connection and noise-free environment, and we recommend you to use your earphones for the best experience. Okay, and please respect your instructor, your classmates, and yourself, and do not write anything inappropriate in the chat box, guys. Okay, moving forward, just a second. Moving forward, we have these three memberships: bronze, silver, and gold. So yeah, in the bronze membership, you get the following facilities. If you want to get more mock tests and access to sectional tests, you should pro university recommendations, smart application tracking, go for the silver membership. Okay, and if you want facilities like SOP, LOR, and visa facilities, then go for the gold membership. Okay, if you have any queries about this, just ask me at the end of the session. We have this free profile evaluation that is done by our experts. Okay, in this you get show university shortlisting, course recommendation, country recommendation, and recommendation report is made for you all at the end of the profile evaluation. So you can book your slot for this from our website itself. Okay, and all of the doubt clearance is done in this as well. So you can book your slot from our website as well. Okay, we have these Duolingo classes that goes on from 6:30 to 7:30. It's a 2-week course, and these are online classes, guys, Monday to Friday. And we have these IELTS classes that goes on from 7:30 to 8:30, Monday to Friday, online classes, and it's a 4-week course. Okay, so if you want to enroll in any of the courses, you can go on our website and you can easily enroll in any of the courses. We're gonna have this webinar, guys. So I'll share a link with you. You can register for the webinar using that link. Okay. So do register for the webinar. It will be taking place on Saturday. It will be taken by our co-founder, Mr. Jaideep Gurujala. Okay. And I have shared the link in the chat box. So please do register. Okay. The topic for the webinar would be best master's courses abroad for high paying jobs. Okay. So yeah, do check it out, guys. Moving forward, these are a few reviews that we've gotten. This is the homepage of Ubergrad.com. Go to solutions, go to free profile evaluation to book your slot, talk to counselor to book your slot for talking to the counselor. Then you can see the new updated we've gotten. See AI country recommendation, for example, we'll open it. So here the AI will give you country recommendation according to your details that you will put in. Okay, so just guys, you can use this for just to know where you can go. The AI, if you want to talk to a person, you can obviously book your slot, but this is just for reference as to go see, shortlist some things. So yeah, go to your name over here, go to my test preparation, go to this GRE Comprehensive Live Classes course, then you'll land up on this page. Go to verbal ability, week 2, short RC and AWA. See, today 2 handout is available over here. The recording for yesterday's class would be available by now. Okay, so I'm sharing the handout link in the chat box. Okay, guys, so do check it out. Yeah, and if you have any queries, you can ask me at the end of the session. I'll just hand over the session to ma'am now. It's we've already started late. Okay, guys, thank you. Okay, ma'am, you can take over the session. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, good evening. I hope everyone is doing good. Yes. Okay, so let's start off with the session. Good evening, Gayatri, Irene. So everyone, in fact, so good evening. Right. So I'm going to present the screen. So, and let me recapitulate few things. And other than that, so let me today talk about different questions and how we need to work on. So Payal, good evening. Havdesh, good evening. So good evening, everyone. Just give me a second. Yes, here we go. Avdesh, yes, we have one complete week we'll be dedicating for our vocabulary words, Avdesh. So that means, so the lexical resources, immediately after this class, you will have one quant section, and post that we'll be doing like our this one word section. The complete 1 week we'll be dedicating for that. So don't worry about that. Okay. So we'll be having like, so I can say a very well defined so classes for you guys. Every section we are taking, and we are trying to give ample time for each section so that you people can give best in your exams. Okay, so therefore, so before your text completion and sentence equivalence, we'll have one session that is dedicated, one complete week will be dedicated for your lexical resources. Got it, guys? Now, so yesterday we spoke about critical reasoning, short passages, or logical reasonings, isn't it? So we basically understood the contents in them. And what are the different contents you will be coming across? You will be coming across conclusion, you will be coming across premise, and you will be coming across background, and then so counter premises. Okay, so this is what we basically, this is the building blocks of our critical reasoning, or your this one, what is that, short passages or logical reasoning. And also we knew the fact that here we need to reason out. Okay, so it is not just understanding, but along with the understanding you need to reason out why these ideas are presented, how these ideas are supporting each other, and what is the purpose of the idea presented here. So these things, what, how, why, these things you need to understand and present there. Okay, so and also as soon as you get the paragraph, so as in when you get the paragraph, what is that you need to do? So just like in your reading comprehensions, unlike in reading comprehensions, you need to read so these short passages in detail. Okay, whereas in this one lengthy passages, what we were doing, so we were just summarizing immediately. Then with regards to the questions, we were trying to, what is that, focus or go to that specific spot, and we were like answering. But now here what happens, so in short passages you need to read the complete idea, so in detail. See, I'm trying to say here, like in our short passages, you need to read every sentence of the passage. Okay, it is not summarization. It is not just reading the first sentence and last sentence. You need to know what is happening in every sentence here. Okay, so I'm repeating, Avdesh. I repeated here. So stating that in your critical reasoning passages or short passages, you need to go through every sentence in detail here. Okay, so that is what we basically need to do when you are doing your critical reasoning. And after reading that, you need to do what? Deconstruction. Deconstruction in the sense what? You need to recognize which is your conclusion, which is your premise, so which is your background, and which is your counter argument. See, SP is nothing but short passage. Short passage is also called as this one, logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is also called as critical reasoning. Okay, that's it, Avdesh. Nothing else we have here. So now, first we need to deconstruct. When you're deconstructing, you need to identify conclusion. And what is this conclusion? The main decision. Main decision or main idea, so that we take. Premise is the immediate reason why that conclusion takes place. The immediate reason. We may have thousands of reasons, but we'll be having one immediate reason, so that will be making the thing to happen. So that immediate reason, we can take it as what? Our premise. Background is what? Those multiple sub reasons. Okay, so which may help the conclusion to happen. That means it is not important. It is not the real one. So, but yeah, they are the background, facts and figures. Counter is what? So the counter premise will not support the conclusion to happen here. Okay. So this is what yesterday we discussed. Now today I will be discussing the types of questions here. Okay. So what we are going to discuss here, the types of questions that you are going to get and how you need to address here. Okay. The first and foremost thing, based upon its structure. Okay. Based upon its structure or based upon its building blocks, we have two types of questions that they are going to ask. So I'm telling, listen, guys, based upon its contents, that means based upon the building blocks, based upon the each sentence, we have two types of questions that they are going to ask. Which are those? The first one is describe the role question. The other one is your describe the argument. Okay, we have two questions based on the structure. Structure in the sense what? The building blocks. Building blocks in the sense what? It could be conclusion, it could be you're based on that particular structure, how the argument will be constructed. We'll be having two types of questions. What are those two types of questions? One is describe the role, the other one is your describe the argument. Role is what? For example, what is your role in your college? Play. What you will be saying? Either you will be a union leader there, or you will be a vice president, or you are important dancer in your college, or so you are a manager in your workplace. So that means you have a definitive role, isn't it? So even here also, when we have different sentences, so what each sentence is doing there, okay? So that is what is describing the role. That means they will be what, how this question appear to you means they will try to bold face the question there. Okay, in the argument itself, they'll try to bold face two sentences. Now you need to say how these sentences are related to one another, or you need to say how these sentences, these bold-faced sentences are related to the argument or to the conclusion. So that is what you people need to recognize. Basically, you are going to recognize what is their so structure, or what they are, whether they are supporting elements, whether they are the conclusions, whether they are counter premises. So that you need to tell. So when you're doing your describe the role question, I guess you people understood what is this role. Just give me one thumbs up. Did you guys understood the role? Now, when you're doing the role question, what is that you need to do? Again, rather than concentrating on just the bold face thing, rather than just reading the bold face thing, what you need to do here, again you need to deconstruct the argument here. Okay, bold face in the sense they will be, I'll show you like this is bold face. You can see they have extra darkened the sentence here. This is bold faced. Okay, I'll come to the question, don't worry guys. So when we have this bold faced questions, so don't just focus on what is darkened or what is marked. Here you need to again do the deconstruction. You need to try and find out what is conclusion, what is premise, what is your this one basic ideas or backgrounds, and what is your counter argument. Okay, first thing that you need to do this. After that, you will be understanding what is playing what role there. So that will become easy for you guys. And now, here is an example of this. First, I want you people to deconstruct this argument. Okay, so since yesterday we have discussed the deconstruction, So now this is plainly, don't focus on the question, don't focus on your bold faced, this one. You can see here, bold face in the sense something which is put in the bold letters. Okay. You can see darkened. Don't concentrate on this. Just you see the argument, deconstruct and identify what is your conclusion, what is your, this one, premise, what is your, background and counter premise. So I'll be giving you a few minutes to do this, and I want everyone to answer this because already we have discussed how to deconstruct here. Do it. And then I will be explaining. Yes. Guys, what is your conclusion? Anyone you want me to tell here? Okay, let me describe here. Okay, so let me tell you or let me show you how to deconstruct once again tightly knit society. Vidhi, very good. So sentence one, pile is a background. Very good. Very good. So that's a great thing. So yeah. So let me also explain, guys, those who like two answers I got, so which is like partially correct there. So let me tell you here how we are deconstructing for all others. Okay. Recently, Zubin Ghosh made headlines when he was recognized to have solved the Hilbert conjecture. What is that? He made headlines. It is a fact here. So therefore, that complete thing is a factual information. Before we could freeze it as a background, let us also see why. Because we won't be naming anything before we find the conclusion. है ना? So that is one thing. First, only when we get the conclusion, then only we can name the other parts. But we know that it is a fact here. Let us see the next sentence also. What is the next sentence? Ghosh posted his work on internet rather than submitting it to established journals. This is also kind of what fact only. He did something. Instead of putting it on the internet, what did he do? He put it in the journal. Okay, so instead of putting it in journal, he posted on internet. This is also kind of background we have. In fact, now what is that they are saying? In fact, he has no job, let alone a university position. Now, it is a kind of, what is that? This one, what is that? An idea which is trying to narrate the situation of what? That particular person. Who? Ghosh. They are trying to talk about the position of or the status of Zubin Ghosh. And what is the status that we have here? He has no job, it seems, let alone a university position. Do you think it is a judgment? It is not a judging. Judging means what? So he won't mingle with people. That is a judgment. Okay. But they are talking about the position. I mean, it's condition there. So he has no job, let alone a university position. This is also some kind of factual information about that particular person. All the three sentences we read till now is what? So, like a factual information. Now, he leaves alone and has refused all acclaim. This is also more about that person, a fact about that person. So therefore, this is also what? Fact only. In reporting on Ghosh, okay, in reporting on Ghosh, the press unfortunately has reinforced the popular view that mathematicians clearly form a tightly knit society. What is that here? The author is trying to give the judgment, isn't it? What is that judgment? The press has reinforced the popular view, is trying to say the press has reinforced or restated one of the popular view. What is that? Mathematicians clearly form a tightly knit society. So now you can see that this is a judgment. Usually judgment is what? We take it as a conclusion. So therefore, here mathematicians clearly form a tightly knit society is the conclusion that we have. But why did they present this idea? Is there any immediate reason here? So we don't have any immediate reason. That means all these things were the background. Okay, we don't have premise in this argument. So if you see here, sorry, so we don't have premise, supporting element. Frequently collaborating on important efforts. Indeed, teams of researchers are working together to extend Ghosh finding. This is also kind of background that we have. Okay, so that means what? From year to year, like everything is like a background. But this is the conclusion. So, and this is also something they are talking about the fact. So, therefore, this is also background. So, now the question is, you got to know the deconstruction. Is everyone clear about this? We don't have the premise here. Remember that. Why we don't have premise? So, because you see that there is nothing which is making so these press reporters to reinforce this one, isn't it? So therefore we don't have anything so that is actually giving this idea. So therefore what? We don't have immediate reasons. So we have conclusion, we have backgrounds here. Now what is the question? In the argument above, the two portions in the bold face plays which of the following roles? Now you need to say how these both are connected, these bold face things. This is what? Conclusion. But this is what? This is the statement which is saying he has no job, let alone a university position. That means he has no job also, he is having a let alone a university position, and also he leaves this. That means this idea is just opposite to the conclusion that they have given, isn't it? Because here they are saying mathematicians clearly form a tightly knit society community, in the sense they are very closely connected to the community. In community they have some recognition, they are connected to people, they stay in close with everyone. But here it is trying to say what? He is not having a job, he is just having one university position. So that means what? A contrary idea to this conclusion we have, isn't it? So what is that? We now know that this is the conclusion. For that conclusion we have a contrary idea here. So this is what we know right now. So taking this shadow answer, now you people tell me which option will go correct. The ball is in your court. Now you tell me, so which answer is most appropriate here? And this is a word game. Why? Look at the options. The options are quite lengthy, isn't it? So now when you people are omitting the answers, you need to understand the ideas, the words, everything. We cannot just randomly go and pick up the answer. Shall I give you 1 minute time, and can you people tell me which will be your this one? Answer there quickly. Give a try. Okay, we have a few answers coming out. D. Okay. What about others? I'll release the answer. We have C also answers. Okay, no issues. You people give me all the answers that you feel correct. E also it is there. Mhm. Now, okay. Right. We have multiple answers. Before I release the answer, okay, video also has given E. So before I release the answer, I'll be explaining so each of the option. The first option. The first is an observation. Okay. The author makes to illustrate a social pattern. Is the author is purposely making that observation to illustrate any social pattern? Is he doing that? They have discussing one case here, so he is not observing that mathematician to talk about some social pattern that is happening. The second is a generalization of that pattern. No, it is opposite, isn't it? The whatever the observation and the generalization, so they are opposite in nature. First of all, he is not making the observation to illustrate, to explain the social pattern here, isn't it? So first part only is wrong. So therefore what we need to do, so we need to basically omit this thing. Okay, see, look at the word observation, illustrate a social pattern. All these things are Sandesh. So I'm explaining. So I'm trying to explain the options only. Why we are omitting each one. I'm not, what is that? I'll not give just directly the answers. Okay, please have patience. Okay, the second thing that we have here is what? The first is evidence in favor of popular view. What is the popular view here? That they form the tightly knit society community. But here it is saying opposite. How can it be the evidence here? Isn't it? So it is also wrong idea. B also goes out of our thing. So those who have answered B, so it is wrong. Why? Because in the first part only we see the obligations. The first is evidence in favor of popular view. What was the popular view? That the mathematicians form closely knit society. But the first bolded one was just opposite. It was trying to say he leaves alone and everything. So therefore it cannot be your answer. The first is a specific example of a generalization that the author contradicts. Okay. So is author trying to contradict any generalization here? In fact, so he is not contradicting any, Balki he is trying to say how this mathematicians how these press people has reinforced the idea, popular idea. That means he is only claiming what is the popular idea. He is not claiming some generalization to be contradictory, isn't it? So therefore what? So this thing, this idea, the way it is presented, so is wrong, because in the argument the author is not contradicting any generalization. Remember that. Okay, even though what is that we have contrary situation between first and the second, but here is author trying to contradict something. Here author is not trying to contradict anything. Author is just presenting the generalization. So therefore what? C cannot be your answer. Those who gave C as your answers, so please check it out why we are not picking it here. Why? Because author is not contradicting anything here. Author is just presenting a idea there. Okay. For that, there is what is that opposite idea of the observation. So the first is a specific counter example to a generalization that author asserts. See here, this is the correct one. Counter example in the sense opposite. So it is an opposite example that the author is presenting the generalization. Then the second is that generalization. Don't you think this is the right one? Because author is asserting something. For that, the first one is just the opposite example. So, and the second is that generalization. So therefore what? So D is our right thing. Okay. So why D is correct? Because you can see that the first is a counter example to the generalization that the author asserts. And what is that author asserting the generalization? Mathematicians form closely knit society. But here in the thing, what is it given? But this mathematician, Ghosh, is living alone and he is not in the society. So therefore, what? This is a counter example for whatever the author is stating. So therefore, what? D is the right answer here. Now, we even saw many people giving E also as an answer for them. The first is a judgment. I specifically said, do you think it is a judgment? Did I not discuss this? He has no job, let alone a university position. Do you think this is a judgment? They're talking about his situation. Na? So if it was something like this, he has no job because he is not capable. This is judgment. That means you people, because you didn't had a job, so you people are saying that he is not capable. So that thing is judgment. Here it is not judgment, it is the fact. So it is this real condition there. So he has no job, let alone a university position. It is basically the fact. It is not the judgment presented by the author there. So here itself we have a wrong idea, isn't it? So therefore, what? Which is the answer that is correct here? D. So what did you understand from this? So from this question, you need to be very careful about what is bold-faced and you need to see how it is presented. Okay. Okay, we saw only contradictory. It doesn't mean that, oh, contradiction is there. Whichever statement is having this contradictory ideas, we need to choose them. No. What are these ideas? How these ideas are presented? All these things you need to know here. That is the reason I was saying it is not just understanding the ideas, but how, why and how these ideas are presented. That is what you need to understand here. And that is what is the beauty of your short passages or critical reasonings or logical reasonings. Got it, guys? This question is clear for you? Give me some kind of acknowledgement, thumbs up or yes. Good, good, guys. Okay, great. Now let me go to the another kind of argument. So what is this? This is one more type of question that we have. What is this question? It is asking you to describe the argument. That means this will be a kind of dialogue based questions. Okay, it is very rare this question comes in GRE, but however I didn't want to leave any stone unturned. Suddenly if you get this type of question, you people should not get confused. Oh, we did not discuss this, but this question has come into picture. Very rarely, but it is found. Okay. So describe argument in the sense what? Say two people are discussing something. You need to identify, so what is the type of argument that is happening? How one person is responding to other person's ideas or presentation, or how the other person is reacting to the first person's talk. Okay, so that is what we need to identify here. That means these questions will be what? Dialogue based questions. What it will be? It will be dialogue based questions where you people need to understand, so the conversation between the two people, so why this conversation is happening and what is the kind of response of each of these person. So that is what we need to understand here. See guys, one more tip. See, as I go with the classes, I'll be narrating few tips simultaneously. Okay. So here the tip for this thing is that whenever you people are doing especially critical reasoning questions and everything, don't try to assume anything. Okay. Don't try to analyze according to your mindset. That is very bad. Okay, so in fact, so when you people, since you people are taking up GRE, I definitely feel that most of you will be working at managerial level, or this one as a TLs, or most of you would be in college level also. So here, what is that? So when you people are deciding on something, when you're so facing some issues, or you need to take certain decisions, don't analyze whatever you know. Try to be open to understand other person's perspective also, and on the basis of other person's perspective, situation, everything, you need to take the decision. You should not be something like we just randomly take the decision. That is visible in your critical reasoning. So now your thought process only will be changing if you have to be successful on your critical reasoning questions. Okay. So now I'm going to take the questions and I'll be showing how the question is here. You can see here two people speaking here. This is the way the question will be if they are asking for the argument question or describe the argument. You need to say how these people are discussing what they are discussing. So now, here also you need to understand the question stem. You need to understand what each person is trying to say, and whether they are speaking in the same direction, whether they are speaking in the opposite direction. That means whether they are countering each other, or whether they are going in the same direction, whether they are supporting each other. So that thing you people need to understand here. Let me explain the question here for you guys. Here you could see mayor. Mayor is speaking. This is the statement presented by mayor. What is mayor saying? The recycling program costs us nearly 1 million to operate every year. He's trying to give a fact here. What is the fact he is trying to say? Is trying to say that, so for recycle program we need $1 million so per year, isn't it? $1 million they need for recycling program every year. And is narrating one more situation. What is that? Our budget shortfall this year is projected to be $5 million. So what is that? So they have a shortfall of budget 5 million. Now, this is also kind of, what is that, information, or it is kind of fact here. Cutting the recycling program will help balance the budget. So now he is giving a decision. What is that decision? If we cut the recycling program, okay, if you cut the cost, if you stop recycling program this year, the balance, whatever the budget imbalance was there, that get balanced. So this is the thing we have. Okay. So that means what? This is the main decision. What is the decision? We need to cut the recycling program. Okay. This is the main decision. And why this decision is happening? Because they have a shortfall of the budget. This is the premise. So they have a shortfall of the budget. So they are planning to cut down the recycling program according to mayor. Okay, you got the this one conclusion, you got the premise, and the background also you have here. What is consumer advocate replying to this idea? He is trying to say it costs the city more to throw something out than to recycle. Now he is trying to say something. So if the city wants to stop recycling, then the city has to throw that waste. For throwing, it will be costing more when compared to recycling it. So now, before looking at the option, what does the consumer want to say mayor here? Whether he is refuting or what is he doing? Tell me, guys, before you people look at the options, tell me what does the consumer advocate is trying to say here? He is suggesting. Yeah. What is he suggesting? How is he suggesting? Yeah, is trying to say that, is author, mayor's main thing was recycling, stopping recycling will save the funds. Okay. But advocate is trying to say that if we stop the recycling and if they have to throw the waste, the throwing waste will be costing more. So that means that saving idea is out of control here. So he's trying to introduce a piece of information which is saying that mayor should reconsider his decision, isn't it? So keeping that in mind, so kindly take up the right option that you feel is correct. Okay. D, I could see everyone giving right answer. Very good, guys. That means if you understand the argument, don't you think it is very easy for you people to pick up the things here? Yes, D is the right answer. Introducing a new piece of information that calls into question the validity of the mayor's conclusion. Mayor wanted to save money, but if throwing the waste is costing more, obviously now they need to question his idea, right? So therefore, what is presenting the new information that is actually questioning the mayor's conclusion there? Getting it? Okay, so what's that? Can you repeat the question, please, Sandesh? I missed your question. Yeah, kindly repeat the question. I missed your question. Okay. Option A and E seem to be relevant. Okay. A is saying what? Establishing that mayor's figures were incorrectly calculated. Is he trying to say anywhere that mayor was incorrect in presenting the thing? Did he say that? So, yeah, recycling program cost is less than $1, less than $1 million or something like that? He did not say that. No? Is just introducing one new piece which so mayor did not discuss that. So therefore, how can we take A as our option? It is incorrect. And E, pointing out that mayor has not adequately considered the potential causes and effects of the budget shortfall. So here, what is that? Anywhere is trying to say that mayor is wrong or is not considered, or whether he is trying to analyze the mayor's analysis. No, right? So then why we need to take up E as the option? Don't overthink. Overthinking is a big problem here. Okay. So think, or so in fact, we should not think only. Okay. So don't try to think. So try to, what is that? So take up the things that is given here. Don't overthink. Don't try to inculcate the ideas. What is given, only that is correct. Okay. Only that is given to you guys. Nothing else. Okay. This is the thing that we have. A fun answer. Now you can see here. So this is the cheat sheet for your described role question. You can just see here. So whatever we did now, so that is narrated in this part. Okay, just have a glance at this. This is the cheat sheet. Cheat sheet in the sense what you need to follow here. Now, this is the cheat sheet for your described argument question. Okay. So argument cheat sheet, this is the cheat sheet that we have. Got it, guys? Any doubt? Yes. Now, next type of questions, most frequent questions, and also it is, see, describe role and describe argument, easy questions they are. Now we have assumption based questions. Okay. Assumptions, that means you need to assume the things. What is that you need to assume? So assuming in the sense, do you think you can assume in whatever way that is given? No. Assumption can only happen if you know the conclusion and if you know the premise. If you will not know what is conclusion and what is premise, so then you cannot take the assumption here. Let me tell you one important thing here about assumption. We had a lockdown, isn't it? So we had a lockdown. So COVID cases was increasing. So government declared lockdown. What is the assumption did you guys add when this thing happened? COVID cases was increasing. Suddenly government declared lockdown. What is the assumption that you people had? Yes, to reduce the contact between individuals. Is it the reduction? So we need to reduce the contacts, or what is the thing? Why the lockdown happened? COVID cases increased and the lockdown happened. What is the assumption? Yeah, the COVID cases was increasing because it was contagious. COVID was contagious. Hence, so the release of the people will spread the disease. Okay. So keeping in mind COVID being contagious, they immediately, what is that? Stop the people from interacting. That is through this one. Yeah, to control the virus, we can say, to say that COVID was contagious. This is the hypothesis. This is the assumption that we can take. Because why people stopping people from moving around if some disease is spreading? So because that disease itself is contagious, it can easily go from one person to another person. That is what we can realize. What is that? The COVID disease was contagious. Okay. To stop the spread of the contagious disease, so they had this thing. Okay. So this is the assumption that we can feel. Assumption can only happen if you know the conclusion and if you know the premise there. And that means premise plus assumption gives rise to conclusion. What is the formula that we have? Premise plus assumption gives rise to conclusion. And now, on the basis of assumption, we have 5 types of questions. Okay. These are the crucial questions, guys. These are very, very important and crucial question. One is finding the assumption. The another question is strengthening the argument, weaken the argument, and you need to evaluate. You need to see how the argument questions get evaluated, whether it is correct, the evaluation is proper or not. And also the paradox questions you will be getting. Paradox questions in the sense, two opposite ideas will be there. You need to justify how these two opposite ideas will happen. The strengthening question, you need to pick up an assumption that will support the author's conclusion. Weakening question is that you need to pick up an argument, you need to pick up the idea that will basically will not support author's conclusion. Evaluate, you need to justify whether the argument is on its right path or not. Finding love for flaw questions, basically here what happens, two paradoxes will be given here, or we'll have a paradox situation where you need to justify why this contradictory ideas are happening. Okay, these are the 5 different types of questions under assumptions we will be having, and these are the most commonly asked questions also. That means most frequently asked questions are these things. So we need to be very, very, very thorough with regards to this, and each of these questions will have different technique and different formulas which you need to understand, and that you need to remember when you're picking up the options here. Okay. So these type of questions we'll be discussing in tomorrow's class. Now it is Q&A round. So kindly, what is that? Ask all your queries with regards to same. Don't hesitate to ask your queries. Kindly ask, because the more you get the clarity, the more the better you perform in your exam. Yes. We have five types, Irene. Five types of assumption based questions we'll be having. I narrated that. So now, can you tell me what are the different queries you people have? Don't carry the doubts to your house. Yes. No doubts, guys. You can text your answers. This one queries. No doubts, Sandesh. Okay. Okay. But make sure you people deconstruct properly. That is the first step that we need you to do. Okay. So what is that first step that you need to do? Your deconstruction is very, very, very important. Sai, explain about first and last assumption. So assumption in the sense, so basically assumption is something you are guessing out of the situation. Okay, that is the assumption here. So therefore, so when you are taking the assumption, if you have to pick up the assumption, you need to know the conclusion also and why that conclusion has happened. Only when you know these both things, then only the thing you can arrive at assumption. Otherwise, you cannot arrive at any assumption here. Okay. On the basis of assumptions, we have five types of questions. One is you will be finding out the assumption. The other one is strengthening. The other one is weakening. So then evaluating the argument and then ultimately finding the fault. Okay. Tomorrow in detail, I'll be discussing each question type and we'll be solving questions, each questions on them. Okay, Sai? Will there be questions directly asking about the role? Yes, definitely, Atiya. We'll be having the role and boldface questions. Definitely, we'll be having it. Sandesh, a request, ma'am. Can we get the answer keys for the handbook? Definitely, I'll tell our moderators to share the answer keys for you guys. Okay? Right. Uh, PDF file, same file. Yeah, right. Yes, Supriya, I guess the doubts are cleared. So over to you and bye.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye.